The Western Cape, where some taxi ranks in Bellville, in Cape Town, have been closed for the next 2 months, starting today. Additional security has been put in place and extra buses are being used to ferry commuters who've been stranded for several weeks due to the ongoing violent dispute between rival taxi associations, Kata and Kodeta. In fact, many people have been killed in this violence. Let's get the latest now from ETV's Natalie Malgas, who's joining us now from one of the busiest taxi ranks in the city. Natalie, good afternoon. Where exactly are you? What is happening there? I see the number of police vehicles behind you.
In fact, a short while ago, we even saw the SANDF leave here, Dan. They've been stationed at the Bellville taxi rank for most of today. As you mentioned, as of today, officially, this taxi rank is closed and will be for the next 2 months until the industry can broker peace. For several weeks now, commuters have been stranded and fearing for their lives, frankly, because simply taking a taxi ride to and from work and to where they need to be felt like a hell ride, many explained it as. So there's still a lot of fear, there's still a lot of tension, but law enforcement has stepped in, additional security has stepped in. We even heard from Police Minister Bheki Cele as he was visiting some of those tense taxi ranks. He's in Paarl at the moment. A little earlier, he was in Khayelitsha, where he shared with us, as much as the service is out to support and maintain law and order, this isn't sustainable. To have additional boots on the ground means that somewhere some policing isn't happening. In fact, this is what he had to say earlier.
I don't know about overwhelmed, but the only issue I have, we have too many boots on the ground here. The police should be doing other things. As you know, that there is criminality around here, gangsters, drugs and all that. But if you move around here, looks like we are completely absorbed in the transport issues, not just the police, not just all the units, including the South African National Defence Force, including the law enforcement. I think we're spending a lot of energy in one place. If this thing can be resolved, as I'm saying, so that we allow the police to go and do other things, allow the people to go to school. I've seen many school kids that didn't go, people didn't go to work. The drivers and the taxi owners themselves are not making money, but we are obliged to protect the communities here. We are obliged to protect the alternative transport. That is our duty. Those that are taking the Arrow bus and others who are obliged. But our wish is that this matter is resolved so that police can go back to their normal deployment and allow the people to live the normal life. We can't live under the police all the time.
Yeah, the minister very clear there, Natalie. You can't live under the police all the time. At some point, Kata and Kodeta are going to have to come to some peaceful agreement or agreement to operate these lucrative routes there in the Western Cape in a very peaceful way. But currently, the commuters have been badly affected. And we've seen deaths as well during this past violence. But I understand there's been more buses as well that have been made available now under the relative calm from today.
So because the Provincial Transport Department had to shut various routes, particularly that contested route between Paarl and Belville, and shut this taxi rank, they've had to bring in alternative modes of transport. They've been speaking to the rail service to bring additional coaches online, and they've brought in additional buses with the Golden Arrow bus service to be able to carry the load. These buses will move under police and army protection to make sure that commuters remain safe. And that will be the situation for at least the next 2 months. We hear from the department that this will remain the situation for at least the next 8 weeks. We also heard from police that they will continue their investigations. They've arrested at least 12 people. They've confiscated at least 14 illegal firearms. And just a short while ago, we got a notification from the police to say another person was arrested related to this taxi violence and carrying an unlicensed firearm. So work is definitely happening behind the scenes to try and quell these tensions, but it's those closed-door meetings. It's the negotiations between Kadeta and Kata that really need to be fruitful and soon, because the commuter is hanging in the balance here.
And very briefly, Natalie, what are they saying? Have the associations today pronounced themselves now that one of the major taxi ranks, the one where you are at in Cape Town, has been closed from today for the next 2 months? Have they made any comments at all about any dialogue between them?
It's actually been very difficult to secure a comment from either of these feuding parties, but we have heard from some of our sources that they're available to negotiate, they're available to continue this arbitration and mediation process, so they're rocking up at the negotiation table. It's what they're saying at the table that is still unknown, Dan.
Okay, thank you very much, Natalie Malgas. ETV reporter live to us from Bellville in Cape Town. In fact, standing there at one of the busiest taxi ranks in Cape Town, closed for the next 2 months as of today, in an attempt by local transport authorities and the police to bring a semblance of peace to stop the ongoing taxi violence in the area.